It began on a breezy April morning, the kind where sunlight feels like a soft whisper against your skin. I had just moved into a new apartment with Amara, my best friend since high school. We were opposites. She was vibrant, full of life and energy, while I leaned into quiet mornings, coffee, and books. Our place was on the second floor of a small, tucked-away complex in a peaceful neighborhood. Nothing ever really happened there and, honestly, I liked it that way. Then he moved in. He arrived one Wednesday afternoon, alone, pulling 2 large suitcases and a guitar case. We watched from our window as he settled in across from us. His unit was directly opposite ours, separated only by a narrow walkway. Almost immediately, we noticed something. He always kept his window open. In the evenings, soft jazz would spill from his apartment, blending with the aroma of coffee and cinnamon. It became a strange kind of comfort, his life, gently humming, in the background of ours. At first it was just curiosity. We'd catch ourselves glancing across, wondering about him. He had a calmness to him, like someone with nothing to prove. Sometimes he'd be reading by a yellow lamp, other nights quietly, playing guitar. Everything he did was slow, deliberate. It was hard not to watch. Amara noticed me watching first. "You stare at him like he's a scene from a movie," she teased, sipping her tea one night. I laughed it off, but she wasn't wrong. We never knew his name, but the routine became familiar. Evenings on the balcony, pretending to chat, but really listening for the music. One rainy night, I thought I saw him glance back, just a flicker. My heart skipped without permission. The turning point came on a lazy Sunday. I was on the balcony watering plants, humming an old tune my mom used to sing. I didn't realize how loud I was until Amara nudged me. He was there, in his window, coffee in hand, smiling. The next morning, a folded note appeared under our doormat. "Your singing yesterday was lovely. I hope you don't mind me saying." No signature. But we knew. Amara raised her eyebrows dramatically. "He listens," she whispered. I blushed. I didn't know what to respond. Ignore it, knock on his door. In the end, I left my own note the next day. "Thank you. Your music is even lovelier." That was how it began. A quiet exchange of words and thoughts on paper. Nothing extravagant, just favorite songs, poems, dreams. Once I drew a sketch of a place I wanted to visit, a sunflower garden with olive trees. The next day, his note read, "I'd like to see that garden too." It felt like we were writing a story, piece by piece. Then, one day, there was no note. The window was closed. No music. I told myself not to care, but I checked the mat 3 times. The next morning, just before sunrise, a new note appeared. "Sorry for missing yesterday. I was out of town, but I thought about your garden." That line shifted something. In me, it wasn't just pleasant notes anymore, it meant something. Eventually, he invited us over. This time, the note was inside a proper envelope. "Would you and your friend like to come over for tea? 6 p.m., no pressure. Just good company." Eli, his name. Finally, that evening, we stood at his door. Amara looked stunning in a green dress. I had changed outfits 3 times. When Eli opened the door, it was like everything in the notes had taken physical shape: warm lighting, music in the background, something sweet baking. The apartment reflected him perfectly. Quiet, thoughtful, detailed. We drank tea from mismatched cups around a low wooden table. He remembered the poem I once shared, quoted it, even. My heart stilled. We talked like old friends. Mara was open and light as always, but between Eli and me, something else lingered, an awareness. Unspoken but present. The notes continued, only now, they were deeper. He lent me a book with passages underlined. I returned it with a favorite quote marked in blue ink. It was subtle, slow, sincere. Amara seemed to step back, gently. She teased less, asked fewer questions. Then, one morning over breakfast, she said, "I should probably tell you something." Her tone was serious. I already knew. One night, I'd seen a woman in Eli's apartment, tall, confident, laughing, like she belonged. I hadn't responded to his last note since. Not out of anger, just uncertainty. We'd never defined anything. But somehow, that moment made everything feel fragile. A few days later, Eli left a note. "You seem distant. I hope I didn't do something wrong. I'd like to talk if you're open to it." I went. "She's my cousin," he said immediately. "In town to help plan our aunt's birthday. I thought you might have misunderstood." I exhaled. "But why did you care if I misunderstood?" I asked. He looked at me, serious but soft. Because this what we've been building matters to me, even if it's slow. Even if it's just notes. It's the most honest thing I've had in a long time. That was the shift. The notes kept coming, now with photos, sketches, pressed leaves, lyrics. Each one more personal, more real. Amara found peace. 2 started dating someone kind, someone new. We laughed together again. The tension gone. One afternoon, Eli left a folded map with a red dot near a hiking trail. Let's get lost together. We met at sunset, climbed a short trail. At the top, with warm cider and a view of the town below, he said. At first, I left the window open for fresh air. But after a while, it was about seeing you. I smiled. I used to wonder if I imagined the way you always looked back. He reached for my hand, careful, gentle. I wasn't looking for anything when this started. I'd been alone for a long time. But you found your way into my days. I met his gaze. You made the quiet feel full. From then on, we still had our rhythm notes tucked under doormats, glances across balconies, slow walks, and quiet conversations. There was no rush, no need to define it. One final note marked the next chapter. Would you trust me enough to try something more? Not faster, just deeper. My answer was already there, waiting. Yes, I already have. What began with an open window had become something living, real, slow, and true. A love story written in silence, in notes, in the spaces between heartbeats, and in the choice to stay.